Hello and welcome to the Shoreham View. This is The Other Side, and today we're joined by Millwall fans TT and Zac. They're from Millwall Drive Home. How are you doing, lads?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you very much for inviting us on. Welcome back to the Championship. Sorry.
Well, they couldn't have Sheffield United in Premier League, could they? It were hurting too many figures, weren't it? It'd be like having Millwall up there. Nobody likes us and nobody likes you.
That's true. To be fair, too many fingers and not enough prosthetic limbs that we've still got hold of one of them, I think it is.
I think you sent it back. I think it's coming back down for false leg derby.
yeah, we did. We're good. We've got good banner at the end, so we nicked it, but we sent it back.
I think that's always been a good thing with United and Millwall. There's lads who like a banter, there's game lads, but it's always... I think there's a respect there with Millwall United, to be fair. I
think it's proper fans. I know it sounds silly, but Leeds, we've got a bit of rivalry, ironically, considering they're a West Yorkshire club. Yeah. But I think two working class clubs, Sheffield United and Millwall, both passionate, both vociferous.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're a little bit more mental, but come from the same kind of stone, if that makes any sense. Even though I'm sure many of your fans will call us Southern Softies. Not many. Not many of you will be calling Millwall Southern Softies. We'll probably get a bit of a pass.
Yeah, I think it's one of them as well, where we also have the same kind of thing where we've got lots of neighbours round us who all think they're big time Charlies, and we're just happy being what we are. And I think Millwall's the same. You've got West Ham and all Tottenham them round you. You're happy being Millwall. You don't want to be a top franchise club, do you?
No, we're never going to be. We're never going to be one of those clubs. No one's investing billions or millions in Millwall. That's for sure. But we're lucky. We've got probably, I think, the best owner in the Championship. Someone that cares about the club, that keeps us running, that he doesn't overspend, and we do It's miraculous that we managed to compete in the Championship, given the fact that we're always in the bottom 3 or 4 of spending. But then you're a good example of someone that doesn't overspend as well. So yeah, it shows that it can be done. Normally, one a season, they'll be in the top 6. Yeah. Of someone that doesn't overspend. The rest of them will be the people that spend the most amount of money, and that's the way all the way through the football period.
Well, I think the finances of the Championship in particular, they're a bit toxic at the minute. Like you saw it with all the points deductions last season, and then to see Millwall go on a good run, I'm still gutted you didn't make the playoffs, if I'm 100% honest with you. It's one of those things.
We're a team. We always can make the playoffs. We can, but then we can always get relegated. There is no in between with us.
Yeah, with We do place in the playoffs. We don't place in the playoffs often.
Yeah.
But when we do, we normally. I'm not saying we do, but we normally get promoted.
Yeah. Recently we have. To be fair, we normally go to Wembley, fail, and then go back the following year and then get promoted. We've done that twice in a row. So.
I mean, looking at it, how would you describe the type of football that Millwall play at the minute? And do you think that playing the same brand as that will get you there and thereabouts again this season?
We're still in transition under Gary Rowett, aren't we? He's trying to get us to play more from the back. Obviously,
because we used to have all of the players where we just hoofed it up the field, Route 1 football. But I think Gary Rowett's trying to make us play it out the back and try and get it into our centre midfielders.
We're trying to have more possession. Obviously, the club and the squad are in transition, so we're trying to get out some of the players that couldn't quite play in that position, and we're an elderly squad. And ironically, with 2 players that have signed new contracts, 1-year contracts, Alex Pearce, the centre-back, and Matt Smith, both can do a job, but they are both getting on, and they are both very much in the team, probably in the squad for their character as much as their playing ability, and that's what we've got to deal with. We're not going to be able to sign someone like Wendia, or the players that really top the Championship. We've got a good quality, but we are trying to play more from the back. But we're a counter-attacking team. Get the ball from the back, play it out to our pace merchants, and our, there are good players in Mason Bennett, Conor Mahoney, Jed Wallace. We've got some tenacious midfielders now with Billy Mitchell. And then get it up front to the problem we have, and we've suffered it for a long time, is we don't have a striker.
We don't have a goal scoring striker. We can have a striker that would work hard, but none of them score goals. So it's either they have pace, or they really try hard, or they score goals and they don't try hard.
Yeah, we've got Matt Smith that he's a super sub as such. doesn't really play 90 minutes. You know, sometimes, but stops, you can't press the ball, you can't attack down the wings because obviously Matt doesn't have that ability. But then balls into the box, he's absolutely lethal with. And so he's probably our top goal scorer. Normally, he's only getting 5 or 6 goals. A little bit like how you suffered in the Premiership last year. You just had no one that put the ball in the back of the net. And it's all well and good having a team that's hard to beat and hard to break down, but it cost you in the end. Obviously, it cost you last season because eventually Premiership teams have got bits of quality in there, a lot more than the Championship, and eventually they're going to score 1 or 2 goals. So you have to score, and obviously that's where we might suffer unless we have to bring a striker in. There's no doubt, and there's talk about it, but we haven't done it yet. I
mean, looking at that team, you've answered my next question for me: is where do you think you need to strengthen most? And you've got into the striker part there, but. Looking at the squad you've got now, another transfer window is open. It's not maybe in full swing for everybody yet. But if you're to look at your team now, would you say there's any players out there that you would be desperate to bring in? And are there any players that look to be on their way out?
We've got rid of most of the players that I think were going to be on the way out. So Shane Ferguson's left the club, a very good servant. Sean Williams, another good servant, has left the club. Good Championship players for a long time for us, but probably their age and their ability, they're now League One players, and we've discussed that. I'd probably look at maybe a Kylian Mbappe. You know, he's impressed me in the European Euro Championships as to bring in. I'm not sure whether he fancies South London, but there are loads of players about, and the problem is it's budget. It's about how much we can spend, how much we can get, and not just the transfer fee, it's the wages.
Yeah.
So it's remiss of me to try and guess where we're going to look. Obviously, we're going to be looking to League Two, but we've got a younger player that went on loan to Sutton United. So his name's Isaac Ola-Ofe, and he's done really well on loan at non-league Sutton, who just got promoted into League Two. And that's the kind of place where we need to look. I'm always of the belief if you're old enough, you're good enough. Or sorry, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And I think that he needs to be given his chance. I think he was there. He got Sutton United's Young Player of the Year. Scored a lot of goals in their promotion run. And so you want players like that brought into the squad. Well, you like him as well, don't you?
Yeah, I just like the look of him.
Yeah, strong, quick. But we're going to be looking around League One, League Two for players. We have been told for once by the club that we are looking further afield. We're actually looking abroad. There is like other countries around where we can potentially source players from. We've never known it. It's for a long time we've not signed anyone from abroad because our scouting network's not there. Again, you need finance to do that. Yeah. When you look at teams like even Brentford and Barnsley, where you wouldn't consider powerhouses, their scouting networks and how they resource players is fantastic, and we just don't have that at the club. So we kind of rely on the lower leagues to get our players. But maybe for once we might be signing someone from abroad, and we definitely need a striker. The one place we've got secure is we've got good centre backs, we've got a great goalkeeper, we probably could do with one more winger. We've got 2 good right backs at the club in Marlon Romeo and Danny McNamara. Danny McNamara is continuing to get better. Another youth player from us. Billy Mitchell's going to light up the Championship this year. So we've got good players in good positions, but the more quality you can add, the better.
Looking at, you mentioned quite a few players there you think would have a breakout season. If you were to look at who's on the books at the minute, and presuming you kept everybody, who would you pick out as your one-star man that you think he's important going forward? He's going to be our pivotal man.
I'm not. We haven't discussed this, but I bet we have different. We might. I'm going to say this now. We're going to have the same player. But who would you say is our one standout player?
At the moment, Jed Wallace.
And I'm going to say our goalkeeper, Bart. In terms of how integral they are to the team, Jed Wallace is a Millwall superstar because of what he does. He's exciting. Well, you explain me. Who's your player?
I just like his pace. When he puts the burners on, no defenders catching him in the Championship, and he is a very quality player, and he's been with us for so long that we just know what he's going to do next.
His work rate, his energy, his determination, his finishing. He scored some absolute belting goals. So he is the one player that we don't have a superstar in the team.
Except from Leonard, he's our top banging goal scorer.
Leonard, Ryan Leonard, the centre midfielder, he does like to crack. He played for you, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. We know a bit about Leonard. I don't think he really fit into what we were trying to do, because we played more with a passing two centre midfielders. and then having defenders bang on for crosses. So that number 10 role needs to be more of a third striker, really, as well as a midfielder. I don't think he really fit into that. But where you play, having that chance to smash balls in from the outside of the box, I think he suited you well, really, because we didn't really set up for long shots. They were only Duffy that really tried them. Yeah,
it is, and it's weird because good players probably, you could say, could fit into any team. However, you want to get the best out of your player. You know, if you say your right midfielder needs to track back more, then obviously buying Lionel Messi, you're not going to get the best out of him. And it sounds stupid, but yeah, he's going to look good on the team. He's still going to do magic. But if you're expecting him to track back, you know, every single time, you're not making the most of him. And so, yeah, Leonard probably didn't show what he's worth at Sheffield United. Although I do think you had better players.
Next thing I was going to ask is, obviously, can you tell us a bit more about your gaffer and what he means to Millwall at the minute, and the way he kind of runs the club?
Loads of people were saying about 7 games before the end of the season.
No, it was more about November. I think it was November. It was a long time before. You're going to say that he was struggling.
Yeah, row it out.
Yeah.
People were saying row it out. And then, obviously, when he heard that, he just picked up the team and said, go out there, enjoy yourselves, but give it 100% effort. And that's what they done from there on to before the Coventry game.
Yeah.
We just played really, really well, I thought, after that. And we went on this little streak. Well, not little, but we couldn't win a game.
Yeah.
But
it was at the time Zac's alluding to, is October, November, we went through our sticky patch of the season. Everyone has them. You know, Millwall, we're a very vociferous fan base, so we're going to say when we don't like it. I felt personally, and we did on our channel, we were quite defensive of Gary Rowett. It felt like there was a plan. And once you say the manager out, it's very then disingenuous, like 4 weeks later when the ball's picked up to go, oh yeah, he's not bad. And then 2 months later when it's got even better, oh yeah, Gary Rowett's doing a good job. You think he's called in for his job like 2 months ago. It's just once you say that you've got to be sure that that's your opinion. And once you say it, you've got to stick to it because it's difficult to come back from. But like I said on our channel, we didn't say that. We analysed every game, and I felt like there was more to the team. We were getting unlucky. We had a lot of draws in that. I think it was 8 games where we didn't win, but 5 of them were draws. Yeah. We are draw merchants because we're hard to break down generally.
We were a bit like Brighton.
We defend well. We're better than Brighton. We defend well, but we don't have a goal scorer. So I don't know what people expect. You know, it's all well and good building up, and the criticism of it is that we don't create enough chances, which is true. We don't, because we're not an attacking team. We don't create enough chances, but a lot of teams create 4 or 5 chances in a game. You need one of those to be taken, and consistently we don't do that, and that's where we struggle. When we do take our chances, especially if we take an early lead, we are a very difficult team to beat notoriously, and that's what we hold on to. And Gary Rowett, I think, has done very good with the resources he's got. Now he hopefully gets some money to spend in this transfer window, and then we'll see what he really is about, because it's his team and he can take us on.
So for this next bit, I usually ask them for 3 words, but what I'm going to do is a bit different because there's 2 in you. If you can both pick 2 words each to describe Millwall and the way they're playing and the way they're set up at the minute to any other team in the Championship, which 2 words would you pick? So that's 2 from each of you.
You want me to go first? So to set us apart from other teams in the Championship, I would say tenacious, and I would say defensive.
Good shout.
Go on.
I would agree with your second one.
Yeah.
I would say defensive, and I would say can't score, but that's 2 words.
Well, no, that is 2. You asked for 2 words.
Yeah, can't score's good. I quite like that.
That was your problem last year. I think if you asked most Sheffield United fans, could you sum up the difference between us and the rest of the Premier League? Yeah, can't score would be the 2 things. You probably add passionate to it. Yeah. You know, the team get on very, very well off the pitch and on the pitch. I think that makes a massive difference. They are passionate about the team. They are passionate about playing for the club, which we don't always get. The recruitment at Millwall is slightly different to what it would be at many clubs. they have to think about the off-field stuff, and you're representing a club that you're going to hear whether you're playing well, never mind the opposition. It didn't really happen much with COVID, and I felt that was going to affect us, and it did. It affected our home form for most of the season, but we are a passionate football club, so you would always throw the word passionate in there for the players because they are playing with it.
It is weird that this season, last season, if you would say.
The season has just gone.
Yeah, the season that's just gone. We were a complete opposite to the season before.
Yeah.
Because the season before, we were winning loads of home games, but we couldn't win an away game for the life of us. But last season, or the season that just passed, we were fantastic at winning away games. We actually picked up away games.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird. Sometimes the football comes that way, and I think COVID probably that. I think you would have you look at a packed Bramall Lane compared to an empty stand. I'm not saying it would have been enough to keep you from going down, but it would have made a big difference, more than most clubs in the Premier League. Your fan base and singing about chip butties before you start playing football is going to make a big difference to a football team, and it does. There's no getting around it. Players don't like coming to the Den when it's packed, because it's a hard place to play. And the same would be said about Bramall Lane. So it does make a difference.
So before we let you go, let us know a bit more about your channel and where we can find you on your socials.
Do you want to say?
Our channel is the best YouTube channel on the whole platform. You just can't get over that. But anyway,
what's it called?
It is called the Millwall Drive Home.
So normally we
are in the car.
Yeah, normally we travel all over the country supporting Millwall, and the report is done on the way home. But obviously COVID stopped that, so we reported from the living room,
exactly where
we are now. So we would do that, but we would report on the game, report on the opposition fans and the atmosphere, and kind of our opinion of it from a Millwall fan's point of view.
We did do that against QPR in December. Yeah,
that's the one game we got to come back from after all the hullabaloo. Kind of spoilt it because of the one game we get to go to. We got to go to was kind of overshadowed by something that's got nothing to do with football, which is typical Millwall. Really, we should be used to it by now. But yeah, at Millwall TT is you can find me on Twitter, and we're on Instagram, but my daughter runs that. To be honest, it's I'm an absolute shocker. I don't even really know how to work it.
Me and you both.
But our YouTube channel, it does all right. I try and say we try to be as unbiased as possible. We try to be as truthful as say what we see. Really, there's no other getting around it. But we are passionate Millwall fans. We try not to be too passionate, although sometimes that gets the better of us, which is always good banter. People digging us out every now and again, and people saying that they love Millwall from all over the world, which is quite good. And so there are some people that like us, but to be fair, we kind of like no one likes us.
Yeah, ditto.
I make some cracking jokes.
No, it doesn't. He really doesn't.
My little lad thinks he's the funniest guy in the world, and I've just given the same reaction that you've just given.
If you're not giving that reaction, it's something wrong, because he ain't going out of here with his head blown up. No chance.
It's a dad thing. We can't let him be funnier than us. We can't allow it.
No, he will be. He's bloody better looking than me already. It's not fair.
Lads, it's been brilliant to have you on. It'd be good to play a proper London team next season. No soulless, lifeless Olympic stadiums. No stripy Nigels with fake ultras. None of that. It'd be good to be playing some proper football, and I can't wait for it. Lads, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And we've got to end it with, no one likes us.
We don't care.